What's up, everybody? Taylor here, back again to talk about my most anticipated games of 2015. It's going to be a huge year for gaming. Every big system seems to have a huge exclusive that's going to come out. We got a new Halo, a new Uncharted, a new Zelda, and hey, maybe even 2 new Final Fantasies if we're lucky. So for this list, it's not going to be a top list because I couldn't figure out how to count down my most anticipated games. It was hard to rank them. I couldn't tell if I was more excited for one or the other. I'm just really excited for all these games. So one rule I have for this is that it's gotta have a release date. Games like Final Fantasy 15 that have no set release date or heck even release window doesn't count. And same with stuff like Last Guardian, Gravity Rush 2, other pie-in-the-sky games that will probably come out this year, but we just don't know. So I will not be including these, only games that have set release dates or vague 2015 release dates. So I'm gonna start going in order of release and then kind of work my way towards the end of the year for games that are just fall or have a vague 2015. All right, first game coming out in February, The Order 1886. Now, from the moment they first revealed this at E3 a couple years ago, I was pretty intrigued because I really liked Ready at Dawn. I played all the God of War PSP games and they were really good. I was really surprised they were able to carry over that experience from God of War on the console onto the handheld. So I was really curious to see what those guys could do with their own IP, their own original idea. And I love the concept, the sort of mysterious, like we're these old-time knights that have lived for thousands of years and we're hunting these werewolves, and the setting's really cool and they have these awesome weapons. But the way they've shown the game has been a little questionable. The first showing didn't really impress me, and then over time it's gotten better. But this last trailer was awesome. It was super brutal. Like, there were body parts flying all over the place, guys' heads exploding. I did not know that this game was going to be that brutal. And just the story looks really interesting. It seems really well acted, and then of course it just looks amazing. Like, the graphics are unbelievable. It almost looks like real life. So first game I'm really looking forward to in 2015 is The Order 1886. The next game I'm looking forward to is a game that I actually did a video on my channel for about 4 years ago for the PSP version, and now we're finally getting a new HD up-res remaster, and that is Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. Now, for people that don't know what this game is, it was, like I said, it was a PSP only game that was only in Japan for a long time, but they finally decided to bring it over, and essentially it's kind of a corridor. I like to think of it as like if Final Fantasy did like Monster Hunter in a way. It's not open world, it's not even like Final Fantasy 13. It's kind of got segmented levels, you can repeat them, you go on missions, and you have a class of, I believe, 13 characters or 12 characters. There's a big cast of characters in this game. And they recently released this PSP comparison to the PS4 version, and my goodness, the comparison, anybody that says this is simply like, oh, we're just up-resing it, no. They completely rebuilt this game from the ground up, and it looks awesome. And I'm just really excited. A lot of people that have actually played through the whole game said it's really good, so I'm super excited for that. And then, of course, I think the reason most people are buying this game, of course they're going to play the game, but the main reason people are going to be buying it is for that Final Fantasy 15 playable demo, Episode Dusk. We have no idea when it's coming out. They're aiming to get it near release. Probably not going to be till, I'm guessing, a month after. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm excited to get into like a little action Final Fantasy, see what it looks like, play through the whole story. It's supposed to be pretty dark. It's the first mature rated Final Fantasy game, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll be curious to see why it's rated that and what it's all about. The next game is sort of a hidden little series that I have a real fondness for. It's sort of my guilty pleasure gaming series, and this is the latest one they have announced. The next one isn't even announced in Japan, so I don't know if this series will continue, but that is Atelier Shally, the Alchemist of Dusk C. And if you've played these Atelier games, essentially it's very kind of cutesy. It's got an anime art style, bleh, I can talk. An anime art style with all the characters mainly are girls. The last entry had 2 protagonists, one was a guy, one was a girl. For the first time, I believe, at least on the PS3 era, that you could have a guy in your party, or there was a playable main character that was a guy. But this next one, it's two girls again, and I always love anything water themed, right? So if it's something about the ocean or has a lot of water incorporated into it, I'm all about that. So this one, that Dusk series, if you will, the sub-series, it was all about the dusk sky and the Dusk, what Sky? I think the Dusk Sky and the Dusk. This one's the Dusk Sea. I forget what Aisha was. Somebody's gonna tell me in the comments. But Shelly looks really great. It's gonna cap off the series on PS3, and the characters look really cool. Seem to refine some of the alchemy that people had problems with in other games. So I'm really excited to see what this is all about. I missed the last one, so I'm really excited to dig into this one and just get lost in another world of alchemy. All right, the next game that I'm pretty pumped for is a Wii U exclusive game called Splatoon. Now, I don't even own a Wii U yet, right? I'm super excited to get one. Once there's a lull or there's like that one game that's gonna throw me over the edge to pick it up, I will definitely do it. And Splatoon might be that game because I really love the concept. You're like this person, but that you can turn into a squid. You can swim through the area. It's very colorful, very silly, very Nintendo. And I've really gotten into online multiplayer lately. I had the Last of Us online multiplayer is really, really good. Me and my roommate play a ton of it. And I want another game that's got a different concept, but still is an online competitive multiplayer game. And this looks like it could be the one. I have some friends that are really excited about getting it. So we'll see how it turns out. Curious to see what the single player is all about. And I really want to dig into the customization and see just how much you can customize your character. But Splatoon is definitely one game I've got on my radar. All right, next game I've actually already played because I kickstarted it a while back, and it should finally come out in its full version this year, and that's Mighty No. 9 from Inafune and his team at Concept. Now this is a kind of more fast-paced, almost Mega Man X take on the Mega Man style games. You can choose your level, but instead of simply just blasting your enemies away, you blast them, you dash into them, and then you get power-ups. So it's sort of all about rhythm. You have to destroy enemies, get power-ups, so you can either move faster or you do more damage, and it just plays really, really well. I streamed it a couple times. I know some of you watched me play that. It plays well as long as they polish it. They sharpen up the graphics a little bit. It looks a little dated, but I'm curious if that's what the final build's gonna be. But nonetheless, I love Mega Man, all versions of it, be it X, Classic, Legends, Soccer even. So whatever happens with this game, I'm pumped. So I can't wait for the full version of Mighty No. 9. Now the next game is one I've been waiting a long time for. Its last entry was one of my favorite games on the PS3, and that is Batman Arkham Knight. Oh boy, I cannot wait. This series redefined melee combat for video games. Arkham just took the world by storm with this rhythm combat using the gadgets, and it's refined it, so I can't wait to see how they refine it even further in Arkham Knight in this huge open world that looks absolutely amazing. We get the Batmobile, we get to drive around in the Batmobile and just blow stuff up. So I'm curious to see what the scope is, how they wrap up the story, and who's under the mask of the villain they're calling the Arkham Knight.